Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Chilsonite sword from Ultraman Blazar. Now I do have to admit I'm not 100% sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. It says Chilsonite if you're reading the katakana because this character is usually C-H-I. But then if you take a look at the back of the packaging it romanizes it as Tilsonite. So I'm just going to keep saying Chilsonite because I like to imagine that it's made out of a very relaxed metal. It's Chilsonite. But anyway, we have this sword here, Blazar, very prominent on the left side of the packaging. And from my understanding, and again, I have to admit, I am very behind on Blazar. I watched the first 4 or 5 episodes and kind of lost interest, but I'm still having fun with the toys. So he doesn't really get new forms or power-up forms this year, but he does kind of get powers from monsters, very Mega Man-esque. So I believe he gets this sword after defeating a monster. Usually gets a medal of them after he defeats them, and then he puts it in the brace, and he gets a weapon or a power up or a new attack or something like that. So we have the Chilsonite sword, fairly basic looking. It has this spinning component here. You pull this piece back, the sword lights up, the usual stuff. But taking a look at the top of the packaging here, it shows basically what I just said. Got some lightning effects and whatnot. Taking a look at the bottom here, 2 AAA batteries will be required, so you'll have to provide them on your own. This side, again, just showing how the sword lights up. It is 50 centimeters long, which it's really not that impressive, but we'll get into it. So basically how this works, you pull that piece on the back, this piece here, pull it back, it makes the little purple globe spin, and then depending on how many times you do it, you get different attack sounds. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead, let's get everything out of the box here, and we'll take a closer look. So here is the Chilsonite sword. You have a nice handle here that kind of is made to look like it's been wrapped up in brown tape. You have all these clips here, which we now know is going to be for the Phydron piece to connect for his power-up form. You have these clips which will hold it in place, and then this is the release. You have that purple globe-looking thing that I talked about. This is what spins that, so you pull this back and that spins. You have the blade here with the nice LEDs that are going to light up. We have the on and off switch. Speakers very prominent right here as well. So if we go ahead and turn it on. There we go. I did forget to mention where the batteries go. Obviously they're in this little compartment right here. Unscrew that, put the batteries in. Screw it back together. So, if we just hit the trigger button, just alternates between those two sounds. If we go ahead and pull this back, so I will say the LED is very cool. I like that it's got this kind of dark blue translucent plastic and then kind of a fluorescent green LED. I think those colors look great together. And it's kind of fun to kind of watch it travel up the blade. I think they did a nice job with that. So that was the pullback one-time attack. Now how this works, if you do, it's 1, 3, and 5. So if you do 2, you get the same sound as 1. If you do 4, you get the same sound as 3. Anything over 5, you're just going to get the 5. So there's no hidden sounds. You just have to do 1, 3, and 5. So that was 1. That was 3. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you have the 2 sounds from the trigger. And then you have the 3 attacks with the 1, 3, or 5. So that's, not a ton of functionality. Now we do know, of course, that this is combining with another toy later on. So that hopefully will get some more functionality out of it possibly. or maybe all the sounds are going to come out of the toy that you clip on. I'm not sure yet, but I think it looks cool. I think aesthetically, I like the dark blue translucent plastic. I like the green LED. The lightning effect is kind of cool. The sounds are a little lackluster, I have to be honest. It's mostly just generic Ultraman grunting, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this is something that you're probably not going to get a ton of usage out of. I feel like you'll probably mess around with it for a day and then sit it somewhere and not really look at it all that much until it's time to combine it with the new toys. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Like I said, not really too much going on functionality-wise, but we do know that there's going to be more compatibility later on, so at least there's that. Because otherwise, if this was a standalone toy and this was all that it did, I would say probably a pass. It doesn't come with an exclusive medal or anything like that. I was really surprised. I feel like if you want people to buy these DX toys, you got to pack in the gimmick item, but they didn't. It's just the sword on its own. So if this was a complete standalone, I would say pass on it because it doesn't do all that much. But the fact that it has the compatibility, it might be worth getting to check that out when that happens. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Here, we'll go ahead and bring the box back in. Now, I will say the one thing about the box, the way that it shows, like, oh, this section lights up, and then this section lights up, I thought it was going to be, like, at one at a time or something like that, which I thought was kind of a neat idea. Like, maybe the first attack's down here, the second attack's up here, and the third attack is both of them. But it's really just both of these sections light up, and they just kind of, like, it's not like a classic LED, like, say, the Zanglass sword or something, where the LED actually travels the blade. It's just this flashes, then sometimes both of them flash. But it happens so fast, it's not like you can really tell when one is illuminated and the other isn't. So, I don't know. It is what it is. It's a decent little sword. We'll see how the compatibility works out, but not a ton going on with this one on its own. I would say your mileage will vary. Do you need it? It's going to really depend on how cool that add-on piece turns out to be. So we'll come back and touch base later. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.